So,
We live?
we are live.
Oh, shit.
Welcome to Weirdo and Beardo, brought to you by Why Not Results.
There you go.
Why Not Results is the premier studio for digital marketing and video marketing needs. We record our podcast here in the Why Not Results studio. Why Not Results is coincidentally owned by Beardo.
Beardo owns
of
it.
the Weirdo and Beardo.
Yep.
And so anything video marketing or digital marketing related, go to whynotresults.com.
I mean, if we can do it,
Fuck, anyone can do it.
anyone can do it. Shit, these idiots.
Ryan, you got a show on Sunday.
Before we do that, let's talk
Sorry.
about the one you just did.
Yeah.
Let's back it up chronologically.
What'd you think of that? Give me your honest feedback, because I've gotten some feedback from other people, which I'll share with you, but I do value your opinion more than some of theirs.
Yeah. I think you got to write some new stuff.
Well, I did. We're going to talk about that today.
Okay, good. I think that it's still a lot of the jokes that I've heard a couple of times, and believe me, I get it. When you're not doing it a lot, you want to do stuff that you know and all of that. Believe me, I get it.
Well, I'm doing it again on the 8th.
Okay, good. And you're doing newer shit?
Yeah.
Cool. The show that I'm doing.
My B-hole jokes.
Good. Yeah, good. The show that I'm doing on October 1st, Sunday, I'm doing mostly brand new shit. Which, if
It's kind of fun, right?
because that's what I was just saying
anxiety,
today.
but-
There's excitement and anxiety that comes from doing some new shit, and when you're doing mostly new shit, like you kind of it gets the juices going for sure, and it's making me want to write and prepare a bit more.
Well, and I feel the same way. And with the premise of what I did for this new line of jokes, I know I sent you the written word, and it's changed since then. But I mean, in a 5-minute set, I'm covering most of that. So I mean, no matter what, the next one I do is going to be mostly new, if not all new.
Good.
By the time we get there.
Good.
So. But I'm ready for some new shit too.
Me too.
I'm ready for some new content, some new jokes. Mario, so his feedback, and I want to hear more of yours ideally, but was that he said when we're talking, when you're telling jokes, when it's just us, he goes, you're laughing at them, you're enjoying them. He goes, and I didn't see that, and I think part of that's with the jokes being kind of stale to me.
Yep, it's not fresh to you anymore. There's a difference,
and it's taken some of my personality out of it. You know what I mean?
I think that's good feedback.
I think it's solid feedback.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think that getting those nerves good. If you're not nervous going up there, then you're not doing something right.
Well, I mean, that's part of what makes it fun.
Yeah.
The whole experience. That's part of what is so enjoyable about it. And it's part of the rush afterwards, right? Because it's almost miserable at times the day of prepping, getting ready. And, and those nerves, not miserable, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then you do it and you feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a great feeling.
It's funny you should say that. So last night I was doing something. My wife was watching TV and I was like, not really paying attention. I was sitting on the couch working on my material, you know what I mean? And she goes, I can't imagine putting this much work into something as terrifying as doing stand-up. She's like, if someone just gave me content
it's
and
true,
it was
though.
to just walk out on the stage, she goes, I can't do it. She goes, I can't wrap my head around someone who's like willing to put in the time and the work and all the energy and stress to do this and then go have to do it.
It's so much work.
She goes, it's crazy. It's like, she's like, it's one thing if someone just hands you a script and you're acting in a movie. To write your own stuff and then go perform it is fucking, it doesn't make sense.
The risk of failure is so real, and humiliation. You know what I mean? It really is. Like it's a real thing, and I don't think people. I think people respect it, but I don't know that they fully grasp it unless they've done it.
Yeah.
I
mean, they always talk about like trying to find your voice when you're writing jokes, and I think that's the goal. And you and I have talked about it, like getting to the point where you're as comfortable talking to a group of strangers and delivering material like you're doing it just hanging out with your friends. It's so hard to get that level of comfort. I feel like you have to do it so much and so consistently to feel that way.
Yeah.
Because you walk up on a stage in front of people with a mic and it's just an awkward, the whole thing is just an awkward setting.
It is. And I think you and I have both, you're better at it than I am, but have both gone on different ends of the spectrum on appearing natural on stage. And like I'm you for a long time, and so the way that you are on stage, right? I've given you the feedback before. Like, there's times where it's just you. There's other times where it's someone pretending to be Ryan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's the same way. But it's a challenge.
Well, I think if you're doing stuff you don't know as well, here's what I would equate it to. So when I was a kid, I used to do I was in the drama club and did all that goofy shit when I was in high school. Yeah. So
I didn't know you were that big of a nerd.
Yeah, a huge nerd, dude. And one of the things that I learned is when you first try a role, you're just holding the script.
Yeah.
Right. And you're just reading it. You're not performing anything. You're literally reading pages to someone else, and then they read, and then you read, and you're doing your thing. Not until you actually memorize the lines and can start performing it and kind of do you bring your personality or anything into it.
Well,
and I think this is the same way.
And that's part of why I do the video practice.
Yeah.
You know, I record myself, watch it, do it again, watch it, do it again, watch it. You know, I'll do that 50 times the day of.
Yeah.
But I think that's, I was going to say, I think that's part of what has made some of my content a little stale. But I don't think that's necessarily what it is. I think it's just that I'm ready for some new stuff that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think the key is writing constantly. I'm convinced that's the key. It just takes time. Every night I'm trying to, what's funny about this? Can I come up with a new premise, or can I develop new jokes out of this? And do that every day. Then I think you're prepared.
Well, and it goes beyond that, because I write ideas down pretty regularly. But taking those ideas that I think is funny in the moment and then building on that is challenging.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It takes some thought. It takes some effort. And then building it to be funny on stage is a whole nother thing, right? I mean, that
I think you just have to do it consistently. That's so hard to do it if you're doing it once every couple of weeks or once a month or whatever.
Impossible.
It's impossible.
You're always going to have garbage sets if you do that.
The last time that you said I felt that you thought I looked comfortable on stage was because it was during that time when I was doing all those gigs.
You were doing a lot.
Within a couple of weeks, so all of a sudden you find yourself 6/7 of the time in a few weeks doing it again. You're like, okay, it felt different.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the way that we've gone about it is harder. So consistency, there is no substitute for time on stage.
No, I 100% agree. Yeah. Thanks for honking there in the middle of our fucking huff. And you know this, when we have lives outside of comedy's not our.
This is not our.
Not what we're making a living on.
No, right.
Not even close.
Right.
If anything, it costs money to do this.
Yeah.
You know.
one of the guys that I've been doing, I find myself doing a bunch of shows with, is actually. He works at Intel as a device engineer, and he's given it all up to move to New York City.
Wow.
And trying to do this shit full time. And I think he got married. So it's just wild when you see someone commit. Yeah, fucking awesome, right? When it's a young man's game. Let's be honest. We kind of jumped into this late, right? It is what it is.
I'm 40, you're 110.
3,000 years old, yeah. But I'd like to see someone who's committing and making the jump and saying, "Fuck it, I'm going to go full time."
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
Yeah,
and I respect that so much, because there's no way in hell I have the balls to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That's because once you're too set in your life, I got too many bills.
That's right.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'd have to sell my house and live in a fucking tent.
Yeah.
Move to Portland and live on the street with the rest of the tent people.
Yeah.
So I'm doing, the cool thing about this gig on Sunday is I'm doing 10 minutes again, which is kind of cool. So yeah, not only am I creating new content, I'm creating 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. And I'll try to make it. No guarantees, obviously, but
I get it.
you know.
Yeah, I'm probably a bit of a smaller crowd this time, but I've been thinking about just things that, as far as material, just things that I find in my everyday life. And I always feel like the comedians that are funniest are just talking about their lives and what they see, and not trying to do weird character and all that kind of stuff. And that's one of the things I started thinking about. I was thinking about this the other day. I think we should be nicer to old people. People are quick to kind of cast them aside. Maybe they're not contributing to society as much anymore, and they're driving slow and getting in the fucking way and all of this stuff, right?
But how old are we talking?
Anything older than me. So $1.86 and up, right?
Gotcha.
But I don't know, my parents' age, you know what I mean? For most people, maybe their grandparents' age. I think it's very easy to say, well, they're they're just kind of, they're not the same members of society anymore.
Yeah.
However, when this fucking technology grid collapses, and it's probably going to at some point, their analog lifestyle is going to save our digital ass.
Yeah.
Right? With
There you
their
go.
with their compasses and their maps and their phones on the wall with long ass cords and
Whatever makes you feel good about getting older, buddy.
yeah, that's what it takes. It's what it takes.
You want to right when you're getting into your twilight years is when you start a movement to get nicer to old people.
Be nice to old people. Like, I don't know. The technology thing is weird. Like they don't get it. And the thing about technology I've decided is you get used to it so fast. And then if you don't have it for whatever reason, you feel fucking lost. Like if you're someplace where your phone doesn't work, don't you feel a little weird?
Well, you remember when my when I left my phone in the lift, right?
Yeah.
I went like a day and a half without a phone.
You're like, what is this, 1812? What the fuck is
I'm
going on?
messaging you from, and then all of a sudden, like my computer's acting weird, and so I restart it, and then I was locked out of everything because I couldn't get into a phone to fucking
That's
to verify my Gmail and this and that. And I'm locked out of all my work stuff, and
you feel lost.
it was a cluster.
It's a cluster. Dude, the last couple of cars I've had have a rear view like camera in the deck because
Well,
I'm
you're
a
rich.
baller.
Yeah.
because I'm a baller,
Yeah.
obviously. And so the other day I'm driving a dude's car, and I'm supposed to be driving this dude's car. I'm like the DD taking him home from the bar, and he doesn't have a rear view camera in an older car. And dude, I got in this thing, and for a minute, it's like I put it in reverse, and I'm just like, well, what the fuck? Like, what, I have to turn around, look over my shoulder, and use the side views? What am I, in a horse and buggy?
And DD obviously means that you're just less drunk than
Less hammered than he was. Yeah, like I could see straight, kind of, right? But it's like I'm sitting there like, well, I hope you're not in a hurry, dude, because there's no camera. We're going to be here for a fucking minute. I don't know. Do I have to slam my feet through the fucking floorboards and pedal like Fred Flintstone in this goddamn car? Like, what's happening right now? But you get used to this shit so fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I remember being young and fucking driving around with an actual paper map in my lap. How the fuck was that happening?
Oh, but that's what you did.
That's what you did. Like you had an atlas or something next to you.
Laid that
Like,
shit up on the dash, and did your best.
dude,
So-
you'd look away from the road for 3 minutes at a time, just hoping you didn't hit anything, trying to figure out where you were. Now we've got this voice telling you every right and left turn to make, and if I don't have that, I'm fucking lost.
Yeah,
You get
you're done.
you get dependent on that stuff.
You're done.
So I'm convinced old people are going to save the day, because let's be honest, dude. If you didn't have access to your cell phone, how many you don't know one person's goddamn number in your life.
No,
You don't know one person's phone number.
that's not true. That's not true at all.
What number do you know right now, memorized?
Mario's?
You have a cell number memorized?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
All right. I'm convinced I know.
Steve's?
I'm convinced I have my phone number
Do
memorized.
you want to know
and
why I know him?
It might not be. Why? Why?
Prison.
Oh, yeah. That number was important.
Yeah, you needed to know.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
For
Because you had to dial on the payphone.
for
to
the
get out
small
and talk to
percentage of our
people.
listeners that have not been locked up, I'm willing to bet they don't have any fucking numbers memorized. Old people know everyone's number.
Yeah, that's
They've
true.
got it all memorized, dude. The doctor, the fucking hospital, fucking whatever, all their friends, they know every goddamn number. If I lost my phone, I'm not calling anybody. It's over for me. I'm gonna have to go drive to your house.
Convicts and old people.
Convicts and
That's
old people. That's
That's it.
so I'm gonna amend my statement now. We should be nicer to old people and to felons.
And felons, yeah. So, yeah.
Let's give them a chance, people.
Those guys that have driven drunk a few too many times.
A few too many times. And is that, yeah, I get it.
Come on. Yeah.
I get it. So I was thinking about that.
Sorry
like,
to ruin your bed here.
No, the whole technology thing just kind of freaks me out, because like if you pay attention to Hollywood, every goddamn movie they make is post-apocalyptic. The tech's gone,
Yeah.
right? We've gone back, and it's like you're just gone
Yeah.
back to 1985, but the world looks like it's fucking Iraq now because you have no technology. Nobody knows what's going on. No one can get around. There's just crazy shit happening everywhere. The world's breaking down.
Yeah.
So yeah, been thinking about that.
Is there more?
No, that's kind of
this one?
No, that's kind of my only thoughts around that. The other thing that I would say is that I've been thinking about lately is, as I'm getting older, and we make jokes about me getting old all the time, everyone always complains about what it's like getting older, and it's hard. You know what I mean? There's plenty of things that make getting older shitty. We all know that, right? But
I feel like I'm like a fine wine. I'm just getting
better with age. Yeah, see, I'm aging like milk, so like it's not
You're
good.
curdling on top.
Just spoiled, rotten. It's looking like cottage cheese, kind of no good. But there are some positive things to getting older. I'm finding. And like one thing is I'm noticing I don't feel the need to get involved in every little altercation that happens around me if I'm out.
Okay.
Right. So when I was younger, growing up, like if there was a problem, like if you were at a bar and there's some sort of scuffle, if there's some sort of scuffle, I'm at least going to assess it and figure out how worried I should be.
Do I want to be involved?
Do I want to be involved? Am I in danger? Is anyone with that I'm in danger? And I wasn't afraid to mix it up back in the day.
And that is funny about younger guys.
Yeah, you're not afraid to. I mean, your testosterone's flowing, so like whatever.
Yeah.
Plus, you get some alcohol, and if you're drinking,
Yeah,
and that's why fighting is a young man's game, right? But I wasn't afraid to mix it up or like get involved in some way. Now, like if I'm out, my wife could directly walk up to me and say, "That guy's being an asshole," and I'd be like, "Well, what did you do?" Because you were being kind of a bitch to me this morning about the dishes in the sink. Maybe he's picking up on some of that energy. You know, you look in the mirror. What have you done? Like I'm not getting involved in it anymore. And overall, I just don't care about being macho about a lot of shit anymore. I think that starts to fade as you get older.
Yeah.
You know?
So feedback on both of those.
Yeah.
Okay. The tech grid one needs more small jokes.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just running my ideas.
No,
well,
I know,
you can give me feedback offline, but like I'm just thinking.
No, I'm just my opinion.
Yeah. I think there needs to be a bunch of smaller jokes.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about premises of new stuff that I want to try to do.
It's humorous,
Yeah.
right?
I think it needs a lot more.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Well, I've got 3 days.
I'm doing this later
Yeah,
tonight.
we'll try to figure it out eventually.
So.
Put some jokes together, but yeah, that's what the writing is. I'm trying to find I've got premises that I like that I know there's content there. It's just finding it.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about like just the being less macho thing. Then this is just real life stuff for me.
I think there's a lot of jokes in that.
Yeah, I think that's better too. But I've been thinking about this lately. Like I actually started getting pedicures, which is fucking hilarious to me. But like most people,
love pedicures.
Most people feel that way. They're like, okay, good for you. Here's the thing. I grew up in Cleveland, dude. Like you don't do anything to take care of yourself
Are you
in
saying
Cleveland.
Cleveland's more manly than Phoenix?
I'm saying
Or just
it's
less metro.
Way less metro. Way less. There is no metro. Doesn't exist in Cleveland, dude. You take your crocodile feet and you sit in the goddamn bar stool and drink whiskey and bitch about your life like you're supposed to.
Wear your Carhartt
With
jacket.
your fucking Carhartt jacket and your skull cap on, because it's June and it's still already 45 fucking degrees outside. Like that's what you do there. You're not. Dude, women don't get pedicures in Cleveland, is what I'm saying. Like their feet are tearing up your sheets like a fucking, like the talons of a bird.
No foot jobs there.
No, dude, it's just, no one takes care of yourself. You don't do that shit around there. Like you'd get, I swear, I think if you went to a spa as a dude in Cleveland and scheduled a pedicure, they'd be like, get the fuck out. I don't think they'd take the appointment. I think it would freak them out. I'd be like, get the hell out of here, bro. Like you're not doing that. And I don't know. Maybe
I picture the old Asian woman.
Yeah.
You get the fuck out of here.
You go now. You go now. No pedicure.
That could be a part.
Yeah, and I think that I think I'm overly, and it sounds so dumb. Like to people that grew up out here in Phoenix and Scottsdale, they're just like, well, yeah, dude, you fucking do that stuff to take care of yourself. Not where I'm from.
Well, it feels good too.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, I know they're scrubbies and they're doing shit on your shins and
there's nothing feminine about it. Realistically,
they're filing off the 6 inches of calluses I have on my heels. Like I'm not saying it's not a good idea. I'm saying it
Get
felt
a little
weird.
bit of a boner while they're
a
massaging
little
your
bit,
legs.
a little bit,
a little partial.
But like it just felt so
Maybe
weird
not you,
to me.
but the rest of us.
It felt so weird to me, and I think I know why. There was a time when I'm gonna say I'm like in 8th or 9th grade, right? So how old are you then? 13, 14, something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
And I had the really long hair because I grew up in the 80s because I'm a million years old, and it was like long, stringy, like it just didn't look all that good. So my mom compromised with me. She fucking hated the long hippie hair.
Okay.
But she said, look, if you're going to go your hair long, at least make it look nice. Like, go get it permed and curly.
Oh, perfect.
So it looks better.
I love this.
Right. So, like, I grew up on 80s, like, kind of metal, right? So, like, all those hair bands in the 80s. And I still love it, right? But, like, they had kind of that curly, poofier.
You're still dumb.
Still dumb. But, like, they had that kind of bigger hair, right? So I'm just like, okay, I can maybe make this work. Maybe I'm going to have, like, this rock star look.
Yeah.
So I go to the fucking lady that cuts my hair, and I tell her what I want to do. And she's just like, okay. Now, keep in mind, I'm a kid, so I'm already nervous about this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm in Cleveland. You don't do this kind of stuff, right?
You don't get perms?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous about it. Okay. You don't get perms, right?
Yeah.
So I go up to this fucking place, and they're literally curlers going in the hair, the whole thing. They're putting fucking,
This is
they're putting the oil and shit on my head like I'm a sub at Subway.
I've never even known you with hair.
Right. I'll have to bring a picture of this shit if I can find one. So, dude, it's kind of traumatic, and I'm nervous about it, right? Like, I don't want anyone to find me. And they're putting this curlers in my hair. They're putting all this shit on there. They got the plastic over my head, and I'm in this.
Did you think no one would notice that all of a sudden it's fucking curly?
I just want anyone to see me getting it done. I just want anyone to see me getting, like, if I showed up with rock star hair, I'd be good.
I guess.
You know, at least that's my thought. I'm 13. What the fuck do I know? So I'm sitting there, and what happens is, when I was a kid, like, you rode your bike to your buddies' houses and collected your crew. And then you rolled out and did your shit.
Whatever you were doing.
Yeah, whatever you were doing. You didn't have to be home until dinner.
Breaking bottles,
you're
lighting fireworks, whatever the fuck.
Trying tobacco for the first time. Whatever, dude. Doing dumb shit, right? So, like, that's what my friends were doing. Now they come to my house, and instead of my mom having my back and making up some bullshit story, she tells them that I'm at the top of the street getting my hair. And I don't think she told them I was getting a perm. She just told them where I was. And it's the same.
His hair did.
It's the same place all these kids went to because they're all in my neighborhood. So they ride up, and I'm not shitting there, dude. I'm all nervous sitting there, and I've got curlers in my hair in a fucking machine with the whole thing. And I look up, dude, and there's 6, 7 of my buddies literally looking in the window at me, sitting on their bikes, and dude, my heart dropped. And I just see all these faces. I look up and make eye contact with them. I'm terrified, and they are pissing themselves laughing.
Other than not being born, why could I have not been there?
Dude, it was traumatic. So the reason I told you all that is because I think I'm extra sensitive about these little spa visits that people do nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Because I don't think of you as a feminine guy at all. But I also don't think of you as like Mr. Masculinity.
Yeah, I try to be a normal dude now.
You're pretty in touch with your feelings.
I try. It's hard though. Like, I guess it takes more effort for me.
You're a pretty easygoing guy.
It just takes more effort than I'm thinking. But I think that comes with age. Like, I think had you met me when I was 25, you'd have felt very differently about who I was.
Not if you had a perm, but
no, I didn't have a perm then. But I was like, I was just that typical blue collar mentality of.
I was accused of having a perm several times in junior high.
How do you get accused?
Well, because my hair is naturally curly. I know that you don't necessarily see that.
No, we got that shaved on that's short. And
as it gets any longer than about this, that's why I have to keep it short.
Dude, I will bring in a picture of my curly hair if you bring in a picture of you with curly hair.
Well, I did a bowl cut because of when I grew up, right? In the 90s.
That's what you did, yeah.
You know? And
wait, bowl cuts were big in the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mid.
I feel like that's a way older thing than that. Because I looked at old pictures of myself as a kid, and I got all kinds of fucked up
I'm
hair.
talking junior high. So like 7th, 8th, 9th grade.
Okay.
But I did kind of a bowl cut, and then I would put mousse.
Oh yeah.
And that made it even curlier. And it would just, and so it's like kind of like a little, white afro.
Had a little Jufro going on?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I did. But it was like, it wasn't really a Jufro because that's more, it was shiny too. So like,
we like a boy band kind of a hair?
Yeah. So I'd mousse it, and then I would lay on a good, 1 minute of aqua, whatever.
Aquanet?
Like, it was like a rock.
Do they make that for men? I feel like you're teasing me about getting my hair permed and you were using Aquanet.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying I'm equally as gay.
Yeah, hey, at least we can own it. See?
Yeah.
Like, I can tease myself now.
I think that's why I'm cool with, the LGBT community.
Yeah.
As
You're like their spokesperson. Like, aren't you?
I should be.
Leading the parade and shit, throwing a baton in the air.
Sure.
With your rainbow hair.
Yeah, I love them. I love everyone.
Yeah.
But,
I'm with you. It just took a long time for me to come around and all. And as dumb as it sounds, as backwards as it is, it's just depending on where you grow up.
Yeah.
It's just you weren't soft. You didn't take care of yourself. You couldn't be uncool. It's ridiculous. And I'm immature.
I don't think I ever. I'm super immature, but you are too.
No argument.
I don't think that I was ever. I don't think I was ever Maybe I was. I don't know. But I don't think, soft is not, you talk about Arizona being a little more metrosexual and stuff or Phoenix being a little more metrosexual.
More progressive, not even metro, but like no one out here would tease another dude for trying to take care of themselves. And so outside of going to the gym, in Cleveland, that's something everyone worked out. But I mean, when it came to like, no one got massages, no one was getting manicures and pedicures.
Phoenix is one of the most fit cities in
No question.
in the country.
It's like LA East. Like everyone's in shape. Scottsdale especially. I mean, there's a lot of fit people around. You don't see fat people around here.
Just me.
Dude, I was looking at, it's funny, like I was looking at like my friends, some of my stuff on Facebook from my friends back there. Like Cleveland is like stuck in time.
Yeah.
Like you go back there and nothing's changed. It's all the same shit. Nothing's been updated, upgraded. Like it's all still kind of the same. Like people are fatter.
It's Ohio.
It's Ohio.
That's the Midwest.
People are way fatter in the Midwest than
Are
out
they?
here. Oh yeah, yeah. Like I saw these pictures. My
Maybe
buddies
I should
like
go there,
Everybody's overweight. Like no one eats healthy.
I won't
and
look
shit.
so fat there.
Yeah, yeah. No, well, I made this joke
Correct
all the time.
answer is no, you're still fat.
Dude, Cleveland fitness. All you have to do, your chest just has to stick out farther than your belly. You can be fat. You just have to be big and burly, and then it's okay in Cleveland.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, yeah, I got that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're good. You're good in Cleveland. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah.
You're Midwest 10.
Yeah, I'm chubby, but my chest still sticks out farther than my belly, so I'm in Cleveland shape. I'm not in Phoenix shape.
Not in Phoenix shape.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not take your shirt off and go climb Camelback shape.
No.
Dude, the other thing is like old people here are still in great shape.
Yeah.
I remember
RFK
going
style.
Dude, yeah, for real. Like I was one of the times that I actually hiked Camelback a million years ago. There's an old dude who fucking like lapped me, blew by me on his way up, blew by me on the way down. I'm just like, gee, this dude was flying. And I think the dude was 70 something years old.
This
I'm
is
like,
where they come. So
yeah, I guess so.
You get the most, like all these active people from around the fucking country.
Come
And
to
they
places
move
like
here to
this.
retire.
That's what it is.
And so, yeah, we have an oddly physically fit elderly community here.
That's probably true.
I mean, it's weird.
And I think the money.
It's not necessarily the people who grew up here.
Yeah. And I think areas with more money are also typically going to be more fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of money.
People out here go out and drink nice wine at happy hour. People in Cleveland smash 4,000 Budweisers. You know what I mean? And then you don't eat anything healthy.
Living in the wrong city.
Yeah, dude, you don't go out and eat anything healthy after 4,000 fucking beers in a night. You know what I mean? Like
No. Sometimes I just forget to eat.
yeah, out here there's so many healthy restaurants out here. That shit doesn't exist in fucking Cleveland. You get subs and burgers and shit. You know?
I think you should do some stuff about Cleveland.
I'm going to. That's one of the things.
That's fucking funny.
And it's true.
And there's enough people from Cleveland here.
Or Midwest people that get it.
Midwest people who get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you could frame it that way.
Yeah.
Cleveland's similar to a lot of other Midwest cities, but shittier.
Yeah, but it is. Dude.
Other than Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's the
At least
only.
we're not Detroit.
At least, dude, Detroit's the
that
only.
video?
Yes, Detroit is the only city that I can remember going to being, and I was like, Cleveland's actually not so bad. Like Detroit is just shit, dude. When a city files bankruptcy, Cleveland's never even done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we can't pay our bills. We're gonna have to kill the lights, I guess. Like what the fuck are you doing? The whole city's like we can't do it. We don't know what to do. We're just gonna close schools and let people leave.
Fucking insane.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. But I'm thinking about doing some of this stuff about Cleveland because it's I had 30.
It is funny.
Almost 40 years there.
Fuck.
I didn't know I was allowed to leave. Eventually, I was just like, oh, you can go. And I think that's I think your point about people migrating here is true. People that have the means or the ambition move to better cities.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you get left with the people who don't do that, and generation after generation of that shit happening. You have Cleveland and Buffalo and
You
Detroit.
don't even like going back there.
No, I very rarely go back. And I'm not kidding you, dude. It feels stuck in time. You go back there, it's a 4-hour flight, but I feel like I went back 4 decades.
Really?
Like it's a time machine. This
I'd
Southwest flight is like a time machine.
I feel like I'd love to go there with you.
We should.
Just so you could point out all the shit.
Yeah. And it's not Ohio, like Columbus or Ohio State is progressive city, very
But
different.
Cleveland,
Toledo, Cincinnati,
yeah.
Akron,
Yeah.
Canton, Youngstown.
Well,
those are rough cities, dude.
Isn't Cincy pretty much fucking
Kentucky?
Kentucky?
Yeah, it's
like
northern
that's-
Kentucky. It's
yeah.
on the river. The Ohio River separates southern
it's
Ohio.
right there,
It's
right?
right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can,
trying to
it's a 9-iron.
I think I have been to Cincinnati, but I think because I have family there for sure. And I think we went to their house when I was growing up. Like we did a lot of long road trips. And, I was thinking about this the other day. And, like, when was the last time you changed a flat tire?
I think I've done it once in my life.
Okay.
Again, newer cars, baller.
Yeah. You're a regular badass. But seriously, right? When was the last time you got out, jacked up the fucking car,
Dude,
and changed a tire? Like, it doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Right? But, like, growing up,
that was
I
a
can
regular
remember
occurrence.
every road trip we ever went on, we blew out a tire. At some point.
What kind of cars were you driving?
It was a station wagon for a long time.
There you go.
And
no one's changing the tread on those things.
There was one time where, we're on a highway. I think we were coming back from California or something, and so we're probably on the 10, and blew a tire. My dad's out there. My dad goes, "All right, everyone, stay in the fucking car." He's pissed, and we change it. All of a sudden, the fucking car falls off the jack. Not on him, luckily.
That's dangerous as He's trying to change the tire. You guys are playing jungle gym and the fucking car just rattling. Oh my God, did he kill you?
He opened the back door. Everyone get. My mom's like, "Hey, let's go out in the desert and try to find arrowheads."
Trucks are blowing by you at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah. You've seen how people drive out here.
Fuck yes, dude. Down the 10, people are flying.
Between here in California?
Oh, you're flying.
Here in Los Angeles?
Dude, I do $110.
Yeah, always.
Always.
Why would you do any
How
less?
fast can my car go? We're going to find out today.
Yes. And this was, either early 90s or late 80s. So, it was probably a little slower just because cars weren't as cool then.
Yeah.
Or way cooler at times. But either way, people didn't drive that fast as what they do now.
Right.
What with the blowing out tires and all.
Dude, you know what's so funny about you mentioning the tires is just 3 days ago, my wife was driving somewhere and she smashes into a curb, and she was just saying that she thought her tire pressure was low. And she smashes into a curb. We're driving around this parking lot getting ready to go somewhere, and we start hearing the thump, 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 and we drop the window. We're like, what is that? Sure enough, we are on the rim.
Yeah.
And we were so lucky. You mentioned about having to change a tire. I'm like, oh, I might have to change a tire. Dude, we were 300 yards from a discount tire. We literally pulled across the street.
I'm not changing shit.
I'm not changing shit.
I don't care if it.
I do have a credit card on me though. Yeah, dude, done. And I'm like, God, thank God. And then I started thinking about it, like, when was the last time I had to change a tire? Like, what would I do? I don't even know how to use a jack anymore.
It's funny when we both worked together, I was pulling in. I used to get there pretty early.
Yeah.
And so I'd get a really good spot right there, right by the door, and rolling in one day, just not even thinking, and just bash the curb. I mean, I chipped the curb.
You hit it hard to chip a curb.
I dented my rim.
Oh shit!
And blew my tire. Right? Like, I mean, it was.
Would you come in
pretty
at
bad.
60?
But I was
into a parking spot, just sideways, like locking them up, like Dukes of Hazzard into work at fucking 6 a.m. 4 cups of coffee just ramped up.
Yeah, I was
just launch yourself out the window.
On Mountain Dew.
Just launch yourself out the window and you're in your desk seat. Like, what's up, you guys? Nice parking.
But anyways, so before we go, going to lunch, I tell Brady, I'm like, hey man, I blew a tire. So of course he's involved immediately.
Of course. It made his day.
He loves that stuff.
Oh, it made his day.
So
Brady might not even need a jack. He might just lift the car up and just start spinning lug nuts.
Oddly strong. But he goes, I've never felt so demasculated as like, so I get all my shit out of my trunk to change the tire, and I sit down next to it, and I'm like, putting the little thing on, and get the fuck out of there. Does it like 30 seconds?
Oh, I believe that he's that guy. Yeah. Yeah. He's way more manly than us.
In that respect, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everyday physical fitness, like he'll get winded walking down the hallway. But
yeah.
If it came to like uprooting pine trees
or picking up a boulder,
dude,
I told you,
weirdly strong.
Dude, I told you he hadn't worked out in forever, and I was going to the gym routinely. Like regularly, like pretty strong, staying in shape back then. And he's like, hey, I'll go to the gym with you. And I'm just like, all right. I knew he had a bad shoulder and stuff, you know what I mean? Football injury, whatever he had. Dude, he lays down on the bench like he's been doing it every day for 20 years.
Like it's nothing.
Like I think he put like 225 on the bench and just started cranking him out. I'm like, and I don't think he even warmed up. And I'm like, I'm not saying 225 is an insane amount of weight, but like, yeah, like the combine. That's what they use, exactly. And he's just cranking out reps. I'm like, what the fuck, you psychopath? You know, he's got his big belly and he's just this big, hairy, burly guy, but he was cranking it out.
There's nothing athletic about it.
No, not looking at him.
But I mean, he's not the first person who I've met that
No,
way either.
it's just weird.
There's some people who are just fucking freaks
Naturally
of nature
strong.
physically.
Yeah. He's the guy you want moving a goddamn fridge or whatever.
Yeah,
You know?
I've used him for that.
Yeah. I believe it. He's just a bear of. Well, you're Mormon. You guys have to help with that shit.
Well, yeah.
I think, is it written in your bylaws if someone asks you to move, like you've got to do it?
No, but I take advantage of it every time I can.
Dude, it's crazy. I respect it. It's really nice because it's a pain in the ass doing that. I hate that.
So when I bought one of my houses, the fridge was supposed to stay with the house. Like that was part of the deal. And the people took it, right? And it wasn't written, but it was written that appliances stayed. But like obviously they didn't think a fridge was an appliance or whatever. I don't know. But so they said, all right, well, and I said, I will not close. It was the day I was supposed to sign. I will not sign the papers unless I get that fridge back. It was like a $3,500 fridge, which, I mean, in hindsight, you know, on a $500,000 house, $3,500 fridge probably wasn't the end of the world,
sure.
But, you know. And so they said, well, if you come get it, right? And so I roll up there, and I've got a lifted truck, and me and Brady, so we go buy a dolly before. Brady's with me. We go buy a dolly before and go over there. And we like roll it out to the truck. And I'm like, so what are we doing from here? And Brady goes, I think it'd be best. Maybe go down there to spot me. But I think I can just pull it in the back. It's a gigantic fridge. And he did. He got in the back of my truck and lifted the dolly and everything right up in there. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like because he had to pull it like up here. Like
I don't think it's appropriate, but when I was a kid, we would call that retard strength.
I don't
know what the appropriate like PC name for that is now, but that's what it is.
Mentally handicapped strength.
So yeah, is that something?
I don't know. When I was growing up in Boy Scouts, we had this kid that was part of our troop who had Down syndrome, and he was short. Like he was like 4'6", but he was buff.
Everybody gets something.
He was jacked and an incredible swimmer. Like we were at his house.
A couple of random things.
So random. We were at his house swimming one time, and he goes up to the second floor window, does 3 flips on the way down, and goes in the pool. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like
Olympic level
I've
diver.
never seen anything like this.
That's hilarious.
But he just no fear.
Yeah,
And just
which probably helps.
crazy strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I there's nothing PC about this conversation right now.
Well, I don't know. I don't know
Rarely
what's
is there,
appropriate. I thought
ever.
if we called it out, at least that it'd be less offensive.
Yeah. Well,
I know it's not right. I know it's not right. I'm just saying what I called it when I was a kid. Right? This is what I called it.
And you're old.
I know. Yeah, and I'm old, but I know there's a better way
The
to say
world
it.
was less sensitive then.
But everyone knows what we mean. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but there is something to it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Dude, you were just talking about like the cars and changing tires. I remember my dad gave me, like when I was in college, you mentioned a station wagon. I forgot all about this car. My dad gave me this like 1980 Caprice wagon that had, I don't know, 180,000 miles on it when he gave it to me. Like this thing, it was like the family truckster. Like it had 3 rows of seats and the third row was like suicide. You know, they faced backward. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Yeah.
And it was perfect for road trips because you could get 6-7 dudes in it with all their gear.
At 10 cents a gallon back then too. You're good.
I remember driving down to Ohio University for their Halloween party that was like the biggest thing in the country at the time. And I took 9 dudes and like weekend bags in this fucking car and rolled down there. And it was like a traveling fraternity house, dude. But I drove this car so much, my dumb ass never took care of it. I don't know that I changed the oil one time that I had this fucking car and it had 1 million miles on it. I eventually abandoned it on the side of the road when it overheated on my way home from college one day and just left it. I remember calling my dad and being like, you know that car that you gave me 2 years ago? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's at mile marker 173 on the side of the road, still steaming. You might want to send a truck to go get it. I'm done with it. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
We did that in college one time when me and my cousin were borrowing our roommate's car.
Okay, that's worse.
So
at least this was my car.
Well, so we went to buy it with him, okay? And he bought it for $300. And it was a station wagon as well, actually, coincidentally. And he and so we were borrowing it, and it died. Like, we were coming up a big hill. We were going to the U, and so like the University of Utah is like up on a big hill. So we're going up, and it dies. And so like luckily Steve pulls it off there's a street, and it's just a cul-de-sac. And so he lets it roll until it stops, which really was not a parking spot. We didn't bother.
Let it roll until it stops. We're just going to park here.
Didn't bother pushing it anywhere else. Didn't lock it. Nothing.
Just
right?
walked away.
But
Doors
like,
are open.
Well, and when he bought it, like they didn't even have all the paperwork for it. We pulled license plates out of the trash can and put them on it.
That's legal.
Different license plates on the front and back.
Oh yeah, that's legal. That's
Like,
all legit.
He had it for like he had it for like 4 weeks or something like that.
Like he's in the mob, just putting plates on
who
randomly.
cares? Yeah, that's none of us cared.
They're like drawn on in crayon.
None of us even thought about it. Like none of us cared, and we never got in trouble with
It's
it.
a piece of cardboard. He's just writing numbers and letters.
and then he goes back to look at it or to like check it. We're like, yeah, it fucking died. And he goes back to check on it. He's like, well, you just fucking left it there? And we're like, yeah, dickhead, it fucking died. Like,
You're mad at him about it. You're a piece of shit car
not my fault your car's a piece of
with
shit.
2 different plates on it. Nothing's wrong with this
I
picture.
loaned you the money to fucking do that. Get that fucking car, you know? Just.
That's funny.
Yeah. But, yeah. Anyways, we left it there. Eventually it got towed, and he never said a word about it.
That's funny.
Because it was never in his name. So it would have cost more to get it out than it was
The car
worth.
was worth. Yeah. No, I get it. I would have for sure fucking left it too. That's funny.
Yeah,
though.
we just never talked about it again.
That's awesome.
But yeah. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You ever tried to look at your butthole in the mirror?
I was not ready for this segue. So yeah, we left this dude's car down and just died, and someone just towed it away. You ever try to look at your butthole?
It's something I've been wanting to talk to you about.
Yeah. I feel like
It's hard.
I feel like I'm gonna have to go to a meeting. When was the last time you looked at your butthole?
I'm just not that flexible.
Yeah.
Like like to get the right position, to get like a good view of it, I'm just not that.
I feel like for
Good.
someone who has their head in their ass as much as you do, you should have a better idea of what your butthole looks like. Where are we going with this?
Well,
This is what mirrors are for.
like, well, you're probably wondering like why I'm thinking this. Right?
The thought crossed my mind.
So, I don't know about you, but I've determined that having sex from behind is the easiest way to do it. It takes the least amount of work.
Yeah. Easiest for a guy.
Other than laying down.
Yeah.
I think easiest for everybody.
Yeah. Your
right?
arms don't
'Cause
start shaking trying to hold yourself up.
If they're on top, it's a lot of work for them.
Yeah.
If I'm on top, it's a lot of work for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want either.
They can just downward dog their way through the whole experience.
Yeah.
And they don't have to look at you, which
Right. And so
it might be good for everyone.
I don't have to fucking look at them.
Yeah, it
you
might
know?
be good for everybody.
But so I'm doing it the other day, and
What was his name?
and I look down and I see the butthole there, and I realize, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, I've probably seen this butthole 1,000 times more than she ever will.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. Do women check that? Like, I don't think guys would ever do that, but I bet you women check.
And so it occurred to me that it's been a long time since I saw my own butthole.
Okay.
And so I started thinking about it, and then I start getting, it's attached to me,
It is.
yet I probably know it less than other people. And, before I know it, like I'm getting some separation anxiety. Like all these feelings are being triggered. I'm starting to identify with a lot of my friends who had divorced parents because I'm starting to get what they went through because of now my relationship with my butthole.
Yeah, it's just like divorced parents.
It's no different.
There's no difference. You're splitting up the holidays with the kids. You're still doing the same shit.
Yeah. And, so I'm starting to feel enlightened now based on that and everything. And so I thought about this for probably 7 seconds and obviously I go completely soft because my mind's not in it. Because now I'm thinking about my ass.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I lost that part of it.
Eventually not having sex anymore.
Yeah, for a minute.
I don't know about you. I don't think I'm the first guy to try to ram a flaccid penis into a vagina, but it doesn't work very well.
It's like a wet noodle. You're just forcing it in. That's a great experience for everybody.
So, you know, I get called off. I liken it to a pitcher getting called off the mound, right? Like the girl is the coach. Obviously, the vagina is the catcher. And they both...
You're getting the hook.
Looked at me with complete disgust.
We're bringing in the lefty.
after laying there and feeling like shit about that, but still thinking about it, I decide to make my way to the bathroom to try to catch a glimpse, right? And I couldn't turn, try to take a picture or whatever, and
I'm trying not to picture this. I'm trying not to picture this.
Good luck. But it didn't work, obviously. So the end solution was like me sitting on the ground, with my phone down here, just taking a picture of my butthole. But that was gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I figured that was the angle. Like we all look bad at certain angles.
Tough to get a flattering picture of the butthole, probably. There's not like a good shot.
I mean, I've seen some good shots.
Yeah.
But not with men.
But those are manicured, bleached,
Not me.
good-looking women doing it. Like different.
I like to think that mine could perform well if needed.
Well, you're in
I don't
prison.
know- I
You
don't
were
know.
in prison. You tell me.
I don't know why that would ever be needed necessarily. But yeah.
I thought buttholes were like currency in jail. I don't know.
Anyways, so that's something I'm working on. Obviously, I have it worded better than that, but I feel like the premise is funny.
3 minutes on buttholes, dude.
The premise
It's
is
aggressive.
funny.
Yeah. I think
Like-
the idea is aggressive.
One of the best jokes I've heard in a long time at a New Faces of Comedy night was the one with the nipples. Do you remember that?
Oh,
So the guy says that like
dad's nipples look the same as that
he
was
went
funny.
swimming with his girl's dad and noticed that his nipples were the same color as his girl's nipples, and then it turned him off later on. Like that was fucking brilliant.
That was pretty good.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
So
I like that too.
yeah.
That's funny. That's awesome.
Well, all right. I think we're about at time.
Yeah.
here,
I think you ended on a butthole joke, right?
Well, yeah. That's
That's
kind
what
of
it is.
what I do.
I mean, it's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, butts and penises. That's what my
Usually where we
sets
go.
are made up of.
I
Primarily.
might be guessing on this, but I think this might have been podcast 9, which means next week is number 10.
Boom.
We got to celebrate it.
Maybe we'd bring a guest on for number 10.
I think that's a great idea.
Pop some champagne.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
If anyone's got any good ideas, send us a post and click subscribe to us on the YouTube channel.
Motherfucking click subscribe.
We are making a push for subscribers, and it helps with our ranking. It helps put this stuff up. You'll get copies of the podcast. You'll get the shorts and all those videos. So click subscribe.
We do clips of the podcast. We do our comedy sets. We do clips of the comedy sets. These do take. It does take a lot of work to get this thing going.
It does. And we get excited when we get clicks and likes and all that. It
We
makes
get bonered
that.
up about it.
So if you think we're funny, or if you feel sorry for us,
You want to
Either way.
You want a boner on the beardo?
either
click
way,
subscribe.
Yeah. Either way, click subscribe. We need the help.
All right.
Thanks, bud.